Alright, so welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how to program the STM32. And if you were just getting started and if you're like me, you're like, well, what do I need to connect up? Because the pins, you have to connect everything up and actually get like a PCB, which is not that hard. It'll lay out the PCB and create the schematic, obviously. And the reason why you have to do this is because all the STM32s, to my knowledge, come as surface mount. And surface mount being there's no through-hole pins that you can just like easily put this in a breadboard or something. So unfortunately, because of that, you will have to create schematic, know what you're connecting up to, and then create a board. The bare minimum to connect up to this thing would be the 3.3 volts reset, SW is a serial wire clock, and then SW serial wire data, and then ground. So those are the minimum. Now on this chip is going to be the pin 14 and 13. All right, so we made all these connections. And if you do that with this chip, you'll be able to program it. And like I said, that's the bare minimum to obviously flash the program. And then you'll have to add all your peripherals, LEDs. So there you go. But now what if it's a different chip? Or what if you're wondering what function each pin can have? So I find the datasheet a little hard to use. So if you open up STM32, the Cube IDE, we're going to quick create a new project. All right, so we're using the STM32G0K8T. So we're going to create a project with this. So once you have a project all created, you'll want to assign the pins. So now that you have the project created, you want to assign the pins. And looking at this, it's like, well, it's almost as good as the datasheet. But usually I go into System Core, and with the ST-Link V2, which is what I would recommend if you just want something that's easy to use, cheap, and fairly fast, I just do serial wire. And we'll show you how this works. But now that I've selected that, it automatically added these over here on the right side, System Clock and System Data. So now you know. Now if you Control-click, you can see what function pins certain pins have. So let's just set this pin, PC14. We'll set this as an output. If you click and hold, and I'll show you all the other GPIO outputs. Now, it doesn't look like system clock or system data can be used on any other pins, according to this. So now that you have that set up, also if you want, for example, just to try out like UART1, if you enable it, now it's enabled, and if you want to see what other pins it can be used on, you can click on, KTX, can only be used on those two pins, and you'll be able to see. If you control left click and hold down. So there you go. So now let's save this. So I'm going to save this configuration. I'm going to generate the code, yes. Once I generate the code, we'll try flashing it to the programmer. All right, so the codes here is really nothing. Even down, if you scroll down, there's a bunch of nits that get called, but other than that, there's nothing to this. Halinit, that initializes everything, and then here's your while loop, where you'll have to put all your code. So everything's ready. So if you're starting from scratch, you are all ready to program. So it didn't take that long. So you just go up here and click the play button, and you're going to try to program it. And there you go. It built. Let's click OK for the debug. You can see it's not that hard. The pinouts aren't that hard. So this is really easy if you want to create your own board and not buy like the Nucleo board or like the Blue Pill board. I recommend not doing any development board, because then you can make all the changes you want and everything's right there on there. If you have any high-speed peripherals, you won't have any issues with signal integrity, or you could minimize your issues with signal integrity. So definitely keep this in mind. If you want to just start writing code, yeah, you can buy those boards. But these are also might be cheaper depending on how big of a board and what you all want on there. So hope that helps, and good luck. Talk to you later.